Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday. Shoot, already? Well. It's amazing what one learns about themselves. As you know, I work during the evenings on some nights, and so I don't have time to cook. But the young little whippersnapper, well, this is his story. I was trying to reach him, and he was fast asleep. So I sat down in my chair at work and I wrote out the instructions. One by one, I wrote out the instructions. And finally, he messaged me and says, Mother, I'm awake. And I'm like, how nice for you. So I said to him, go into the notes on Discord and follow the instructions. Make sure the door's unlocked. I'll be home in 5 minutes. I get home and I turn on the lights and all the chickens wake up. Let me tell you, I came home at about 10:25, and all the chickens woke up. A little bit woke up and he started crowing. And I'm like, no, this is not the time. And those other two came flying off the stairs. And I was like, are you guys for real? Anywho, Noah says, Ma, what do you need me to do? I said, I need you to cook the steak. Now remember, I gave him the instructions, and he had. I said, well, where's the steak? He says, Ma, it's in the fridge. I said, okay. I said, we get started. Get the pan ready. And I'll put it to you this way: Gordon Ramsay don't have nothing on this little young whippersnapper. It was cooked to perfection, and I cut the first few pieces, and I said, well, this is how you cut it. And I gave him the knife, and he started to cut it. And he says, Ma, that is so tender. I said, I know, right? He made the rice, and he learned the rule of making rice. It is a 2-to-1 ratio every single time. Whatever you use to measure your rice, you use the exact same container and you put 2 waters, 2-to-1. His rice came out to perfection. And as he bit into his food, I heard him say, oh my God, Ma, this tastes so good. He's like, how did I do it? I said, you followed instructions. I said, so what did you learn about yourself? He said, I can follow instructions. And I said, but the instructions have to be right. I said, yeah. And then I get a voicemail, a voice note. The voice note came earlier, but the two of them went together. In the voice note, somebody was doing a dance and getting down, right? Because they were excited. Because they did it. They said, Angela, thank you. It works. I did it. And I was like, doggone right. And so I was telling Noah. And he says, well, Mom, I learned that you give good instructions. And I said to him, but that's what my mother told me the other day when she was teaching me how to bake via WhatsApp video. And this was the first time I'd ever made a Christmas black cake. She says to me, well, you do follow instructions. And I said to her, but I had a great teacher. The reason why it is named Do It, it feels amazing, is because that is the whole purpose. Now this whippersnapper says to me, Ma, is there any more steak in the freezer? I want to do it again. I said, that was the last one, but I'll pick some up for you. Don't fret. He goes, am I going to remember how to do it? I said, yeah, just take your time and scroll backwards and find the notes and practice. Don't worry, you'll get it. But the point is, he's so excited. He is so excited. He can't believe that he did it. And he can't believe that it turned out so well. And I said, but this is the whole point and the whole purpose of living, is to test it out, to see what you are capable of. That's the whole point. It doesn't, you see, this is what I was saying to you with a symbiotic relationship. It will fuel you to keep going. When you feel like you want to give up, but you dig your heels in and you say, no, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. And you get excited and you practice. And you see that when you practice, you do it again. And you're like, oh, I did it. I did it. We high-fived last night. And you should hear him talking to his friends. He's like, I cooked that steak. Because I didn't do anything. He said, when should I turn it, Ma? I said, watch. Just watch. And you'll see when. And so he turned it. And he just gently touched it. And he said, I remember Gordon Ramsay says you don't want to squeeze it because you don't want to get all the juices out. You want to keep the juices inside. And I was like, good memory. Good recall. This is the purpose of living, is to test yourself. Test yourself. You don't have, listen, even if he'd have burned it, we were still going to eat it. But he was eager to do it. I think it may have had something to do with, Mommy hollers a lot when you don't do things that I ask you to do. Perhaps he was tired of Mommy hollering. I don't know that I'll know that answer. But the look on his face told me the feeling in his bosom. I'd never met a young man who was more excited to know that he did it. He said, Ma, I did it. I said, you did it by yourself. He said, no, you were here. I said, because I live here. So you're never alone, but you did it. And this is the point. When you get instructions, you test it out. Because now, what he has gained, what did he gain from this symbiotic relationship of the principles in his bosom? What did he learn? He gained a vast amount of confidence in himself and in his capacity to learn and apply. I can't take that from him. No one can take it from him. The same goes for you. When you test out the principles, when you hear the all is mind, the universe is a mental creation, And you stop yourself and you say, okay, wait, the all is mind and the universe is a mental creation. It's a mental creation? What does that even mean? It means what you see in your mind's eye is what you bring about. That's what it means. Now, here's the thing. Did he stop and see himself doing it? Because I said to him, when I wrote the instructions, I said, if he reads these out loud, he can only succeed. He says, well, I did read them out loud, but just in my head. I was like, sure. That's the point. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. So if it's a mental creation, it means it has to start in my mentality. Mental creation. And so it starts in my mentality. So if it starts in my mentality, what kind of mentality do I presently have? Now, is it a mentality that I have all the time? Or is it just a one-off kind of mentality? Well, I do notice I have this particular mentality all the time. And I don't like the way that mentality makes me feel. So I want to get a new mentality. So I'm going to just sit here and see if I can change that mentality. What do I want it to be? You see, when you speak to and with yourself, the instructions begin to come alive for you. Because not only are you hearing the instructions, you are doing it as you hear. So look at all of the senses that are engaged. Touch is fully engaged because you're doing it. You're touching it. You're preparing. See? And all you're doing is living life. You're not performing any ritual. You're not, as I like to say, dancing naked in the moonlight. You're not doing any of that. You are simply living naturally. And as you live naturally, you find that you're like, oh my God, I did it. And did he specifically set out looking for confidence? No, because this is his struggle. He says to me, Ma, I just don't have any confidence. I don't feel like I'm good enough sometimes. And I said to him, but you don't just walk down the street and find confidence. You have to do something. And so after last night, and how he was feeling about himself, he gained confidence. But get this, a couple days prior, as mothers are, I was upset because young whippersnappers seem to prefer to sleep as opposed to do anything around the house. They just sleep a lot. Well, look at all the calories they have to burn, right? Because they eat more at that age. But when they eat more, they sleep more too because they're growing, they're in a spurt. And so I had said to myself, I really, because you use the elements, you use everything in nature to teach you. And he's an earth sign. Well, I look at him, he's stubborn. But the earth is stubborn as well. You need machinery to move it. You need, and not force, but just something heavier to move it. And as I was saying to myself, I said, oh, I need some passion in his life to get him to move because passion represents fire. I said, I need passion in his life to move him, but I can't give him passion. So the passion needs to be stirred up within. You got to do something. You got to stir that boy up somehow, some way. And that was, a couple of days prior. And here we are last night. And he's excited. He goes, Ma, I want to cook some more. Now, one of his uncles was a very, very good chef. He was talented. He's never met him. He'd never met him. I barely even knew him myself because he died so young. But his confidence came as a result of every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. The confidence came as an effect. What was the cause? He did something. So what would you be doing that implied that you had confidence? You would feel that swell of pride in the chest. Oh, Angela, but pride comes before a fall. Oh, Jesus, give me strength, Lord. That's not the type of pride we're talking about. It's not pride that you feel in the chest. That's just the word you say. It is the confidence that emerged from him as a result. So every time you apply the principles and you remember the scripture, faith comes by hearing, the instructions are heard and you do them. And as you do the instructions, you will find the success. And as you see the success, your confidence increases naturally, which is what? The same as your who? Your faith in your abilities, your faith in yourself and what you are capable of doing. That's the whole point. I can't find my purpose. I don't know what my purpose is. How am I supposed to live without a purpose? Everybody else has a purpose and I don't. You give yourself the purpose. As Agent Smith would say, it is purpose that drives us. See? So today, my beautiful friends, what are the instructions? Know what you want to experience. Man, just know what you want to experience. When he unfolded, I even told him, you wrap it in enough parchment paper and you put it on a plate and put it back in the fridge. But he seasoned it. I told him what to season it with. Everything was in point form. Point form. Straightforward and to the point, to the heart of the matter. What do you want to become? All he knew was, I just want to cook this steak. Probably because my mama crazy and she always hollering, I just want to do this. That's what he wanted. And he genuinely wanted it because his words were not idle. He didn't walk around for days saying, I'm a good cook. I'm a good cook. I'm a good cook. He didn't walk around doing vain repetition. He did not. All I said to him was, I don't have time or energy to cook for you when I get home at 10 o'clock. So you are going to have to cook for yourself. You see, when you know what it is that you are tasked with, which is to know what you want to become, know what you want to do. That is always going to be step one. Because if you do not know what you want to do, you will not act. It is the knowing of what you want to do and what you want to become that spurs the actions out of you. This is why when you hear that every possibility exists, you know how they tell you in quantum physics, right? Every possibility exists. Do you know why? Because the moment you know what you want to become, the action is birthed from within. That's how you know. Good, bad, or indifferent, whatever that thing is you say you want to be and do, the action, as soon as you acknowledge who you want to become, the accompanying action is there. Because the action is the effect. But here we are talking about, I don't know what to do. How can you know what to do when you have not chosen what to be? To be is to do. To be is to do. Cause and effect. Right? And so now when you know, you begin to rehearse in imagination what you would be doing in reality. That's what you do. You rehearse. What would I be doing that implies that I'm a good cook? You would feel excited, wouldn't you? See, it leads you right into step 3. You, in your acknowledgement of who you want to become and what you would be doing if you became it, it stirs up a feeling in your bosom that makes you feel great. Makes you feel amazing. And once that feeling and sensation is stirred up, it goes, you see, the cycle continues. Because step 3 is you're going to feel a particular way. And then you begin to entertain it. And how is he entertaining it? By saying to me, Ma, what meat can I cook tomorrow? For those of you who don't eat meat, yay, kudos. Kudos to you. I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just saying this is how we rock in the house. In the summer, we tend to eat less meat because it's hot. Meat adds warmth to the body. But I digress. And he goes, how do you cook it? How do you cook the chicken? How do you make it? He goes, you make it so juicy. And I said to him, the instructions are always the same. Always step 1, you choose the type of meat you want, and you get your lemon, and you squeeze it all over the meat, and you let it rest. That's always the first step. He goes, okay, good, I got that part. See? You see what happens to you when you practice? You say, okay, so there's step 1. What do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Because what you want to be doing is going to show you who you are. Whatever it is you do shows you who you are. One more time. Whatever you are doing shows you who you are. Right? So know what it is Just start there by knowing, well, I don't know. And that is why you haven't done a single thing, because you don't know what you want to be. And even though we might be afraid to test it out, to try it, that is perfectly natural. When you are doing something that you have never done before, it is natural to feel a little scared. Oh my God, am I going to mess that up? I'm so scared. That's natural. It's natural to feel that way, and then you continue on doing the thing. And as you are doing the thing, naturally you see it in your mind's eye. You always see it in your mind's eye. Now, here's an interesting phenomena. When I was running errands on Saturday, we had to go to a particular place. And you know me in maps, right? I follow the blue dot because I'm the blue dot. Don't ask me how to read a map because I don't know. I just follow the blue dot. And for me, I look for landmarks. A landmark for me is one of the most important things because that's what will give me an image. A landmark. It will conjure an image in my mind. And the person I was with, they can look at the map and then the image appears in their mind and they go, yeah, I know where that is. I know where I'm going. I know exactly where I'm going. The phenomena is this. Whether you use your sense of hearing, your sense of sight, your sense of touch or taste, all senses generate an image. Hmm? Eh? What'd you say? All senses generate an image. The image is always the outcome. Go through your life experiences and you'll get what I'm saying. If I say to you, you got to go to the store to get dot, dot, dot. If I say you got to go and buy a lawnmower, something pops into your mind's eye. Some would say Lowe's. Some would say Home Depot. If you're Canadian, you're going to say Rona. You're going to say Canadian Tire. They don't just sell tires. They are like a Home Depot, but with tires and oil changes and such. But if I give that instruction to you, I say, well, let's go get our oil changed. You got Jiffy Lube, you got Mr. Lube, right? An image is always conjured. So when you hear someone say, I can't visualize, oh, yes, you always visualize. To visualize is to see every sense. The outcome of the sense that you use is only one thing, to show you something. That is always the outcome. If you say, I need a giant bag of toilet paper, and Devil Mart doesn't have it, you automatically think, Costco. Why? Because when I say to you, a giant bag of toilet paper, you know you get that Kirkland brand because it's ginormous. But you had Costco that flashed into your mind's eye. Every sense stimulates visualization. So it doesn't matter which sense you use, there's only one outcome to the sense, to conjure an image in your mind's eye. If you let your gas meter, your gas gauge go all the way so you hear low fuel, ding, ding. If that's what you're going to hear, where are you going to go? Yeah, you're going to get the gas station, but which one? You see, the image of the gas station did what? Appeared in your mind's eye. And I said something to you, the image appeared. That is visualization. But here we are. You know how the world is fancy. It says, sit in the corner and let us begin to visualize. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine yourself on the beach. Some can do that. Some of us go, I can't see no beach. I can't even feel no sand beneath my toes. But if now that person had a particular, I don't know, a certain je ne sais quoi, I don't know what it is. But then all of a sudden, they could sense and feel and see in their mind's eye that they're at the beach, they just flash right back. Everything in your senses generates a visual image. Everything. If I say to you, we're going to go somewhere, is your passport ready? The first thing you think of, the first image that comes to mind is the airplane. So, I told you all that because do it. It feels amazing. Truly, it does. But only when you do it will you understand how it feels. So where do you do it first? In your mind's eye. You see, what we tend to do as people is to chase the thing. We chase a thing. But it is not the thing. You are just using that thing to generate a feeling. Everything in your senses is used to generate that image, and the image generates a feeling. Naturally. So, whatever it is that you do naturally to bring about that feeling is what you do mentally. We do it naturally every single day. All I'm doing is breaking it down into bite-sized morsels so that the next time you watch yourself, you'll see what you're doing. Someone said in them near streets, because I read, and they said, oh, I messed up. Every time you don't stay vigilant, you mess up the law. And I'm like, that's because you are still trying to live separate from the law. When I move, you move just like that. That is the way the law works. You use it on the daily. Daily. Not special occasions. There is only one special occasion, and that is your existence. So you use the principles at every turn, deliberately. I want to learn how to do this. Yeah, I want to learn how to do that. And you find then that opportunities present themselves for you to learn how to do the thing so that you can become it naturally. You don't have to sit in the corner and meditate and rock, you always start with step one. Know what you want to become. And as soon as you make a decision as to what you want to become, you begin to see something in your mind's eye. And when you see it in your mind's eye, it triggers your feelings. And depending on the feeling triggered, step 3 is how you will behave. So today, my beautiful friends, I see you, Josiah. There's some other people here on these YouTube streets, Facebook and TikTok. I see you. I see you. I see you, Bez. Ow. Fan base, I just opened up my eyes to look at you because your light is bright. I got Miss McQueen. I got Surreal. Hey, Moon. The lovely Flo Smiles. And you know we have our sweet Casey. Hey, Michael. Ow. Honey. Ray Ray. See? Make a decision. Making a decision. What decision are you making? What to do? That's the decision you're making. What I want to do. That's it. Everything flows from there naturally. And as a result of you following through, you build your confidence. You build your surety of self. Listen, the principles are absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And I'm glad that they're there so I can use them to the fullest of my potential. I laugh because there's something I want to do. And I'm going to do it. I certainly will do it because how can I not? I want to because I like the way it feels. So I want to do it. And so I can have that feeling. But I felt that feeling last night. See? When you begin to see it in your mind's eye, you'll feel it in your body. And as you feel it in your body, you will act it out naturally. Let me get the chime. I don't know that he'll sing early this morning because he stayed up so late last night talking about he's singing at 11:15. I said, you better hush in here. Now is not the time. So I don't know if you'll hear him this morning. He might be too tired. Let me go get this chime. Oh, oh my. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all for being here. Ah, viewing pleasure, darling. I see you. Hey, girl. I see you. Thank you all for being here. Yes, a little bit. Thanks for being here on this lovely Wednesday morning. Go forth into the world and do it, because it feels amazing. That's how you live your life. Yeah? YouTube, Facebook, TikTok fan base. I love you. And I will see you all on the morrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah, we gonna see you too, baby, with bells on. You should be tired. Anywho, much love to you all. Twitter is closed.